Hey, welcome to Gen X Medic. I just learned something new. We're getting help, folks. We're finally getting help. We're getting a documentary on EMS funding. Oh my God, we're getting Sarah Jessica Parker to advocate for us. Okay, actually that's kind of awesome that someone's actually talking about the needs of EMS. I look forward to watching the documentary and reviewing it. I also think Nick Cage would have made more sense, but I remember old movies, so you know, we've got that going for us. So, we all know EMS funding's an issue. We also know why. We have a system that is designed to be treated like an essential service, to be treated as a part of your public safety, but it's also got an allied health mission, which means that you've got no one really wants to fund it on the healthcare side, but they've got to do something, so they throw a little bit at it. But no one wants to pay taxes for it because, well, you know, who wants to take money out of their tax? So who wants to take money out of their citizens' hands for a service? And then EMS, just like fire and police, are going to have to collect revenue even beyond taxes. And well, my taxes are going for this. Why am I getting charged for this trip to the hospital? We have done a horrible job showing the public what we really do. We've done a horrible job, and I preach on this a lot, of getting out there and actually showing people what we bring to the table. You know, places that have properly implemented it, cardiac arrest survival rates have taken off. You know, we're constantly looking for ways to improve the medicine we deliver, coming up with new ways to solve problems. Let's be honest, we're bringing more aggressive and amazing treatments to people where they're at. When I got into this, our options were, if you were having trouble breathing, maybe a neb treatment, or we could bag you, give you oxygen. You know, depending on where you're at, you're giving multiple medications, continuous positive airway pressure treatment. We've got end-tidal CO2 capnography, which can help us narrow down what we need to do. We've got the ability to actually paralyze and take your airway and secure it, so that way we know you're breathing well, so that we can solve that problem. Just one little thing in the 25 years I've been doing this has seen massive improvement. We don't educate the public. That's something that EMS is just horrible at. And then you've got bean counters in Washington coming up with bad studies, and they're coming up with these attitudes that, well, you're not that important. You know, I've seen places get mad because they wanted to designate EMS as actual members of the fire department. You know, in places that run fire-based EMS. I'm not going to get into another rant on poor lobbying, but we've got to get out and talk to people. You've got to get out on the news, and when there's problems, you need to talk about it. Places that have overly ridiculous jurisdictional issues with mutual aid, have to be solved. Getting the right people to the job matters. Getting people help matters. Getting paid to do these things matters. I don't know how many times I've heard people say, and you've probably heard me say this before, the dumbest thing I've ever heard is people arguing that they don't do it for the money, or they don't, well, my agency doesn't bill for it. No, your agency has a different method of collecting for it. It may be it's 100% tax paid, what have you. You know, it's got to get paid for. If you notice, very rarely do you hear me advocate for any particular model. I really do believe that models are dependent locally. What's going to work in one place may not work in another place. Some places, your model may be dependent upon what you have available. It's a shame that we have to have Hollywood people making these pleas. I appreciate it. But why haven't we been able to get out there in front of this? It's not a lack of good speakers. I know plenty of people in EMS who can speak well. I know plenty of people in EMS who can make arguments extremely well. Why aren't we supporting these people and making something better? So folks, I'm going to watch for this. I'm going to review it. I'm going to tell you what I think of the documentary. And hopefully we can get some good news on many fronts. Heck, maybe we can get an EMS lobbying agency who actually lobbies for EMS as opposed to sitting there, you know, holding their finger up and trying to follow whatever just the next cool thing is and sell a bunch of card courses. But hey, what do I know? This is EMS. This is Gen X Medic. One thing I'm bad at: like, share, subscribe. I need the subscribers. I need the views. I appreciate you. I'm signing off.